I always believed that my home was the one place in the world where nothing bad could reach us. I live in a quiet American suburb, the kind of neighborhood real estate agents love to advertise. Neatly trimmed lawns, identical mailboxes, flagpoles on every third house, kids riding bikes until sunset, everyone waving, smiling, pretending everything is perfect. And overseeing all of it was the HOA. At first, the HOA seemed harmless. They sent monthly emails reminding us to keep trash bins out of sight and grass under 3 inches, pet rules, parking rules, fence rules, the usual. But there was one person in the HOA who ruled like she owned the entire neighborhood. Her name was Linda. Everyone called her Linda from the HOA, but behind her back, everyone called her something else. She was in her mid-50s, always dressed like she was attending a corporate board meeting. Perfect blazer, tight bun, clipboard tucked under her arm like a weapon. She walked the neighborhood every morning, inspecting driveways and front porches like a prison warden. She had power, and she loved it. I tried my best to stay invisible. I paid my dues, followed the rules, didn't complain. I was a single father, working long hours, raising my 17-year-old son, Ethan. Ethan was smart, quiet, observant, the kind of kid who noticed things adults missed. That day started like any other. I left for work at 6:30 a.m. Ethan stayed home because school was out for teacher training. He planned to sleep in, play video games, maybe study for finals. At 9:14 a.m., my phone rang. It was Ethan. His voice wasn't normal. "Dad, someone just came inside the house." I froze. "What do you mean came inside?" The front door opened. She used a key. My heart dropped into my stomach. "Who?" There was a pause. "It was Linda, HOA Linda." My hands started shaking. "She let herself in, Dad. I was in my room. I heard the door unlock." Shock, confusion, disbelief. She walked around like she owned the place. She was taking pictures, opening doors. I felt something dark rise in my chest. "Did she say anything?" Ethan swallowed. "She said, HOA inspection. Your father has been violating storage rules." Storage rules. Inside my house. I told Ethan to lock himself in his room and call me on speaker. I left work immediately, heart pounding, imagining the worst. By the time I reached the house, Linda was gone. But my front door was unlocked, and my home no longer felt like mine. That evening I went straight to the HOA office. I didn't knock. I walked in. Linda was sitting behind her desk, sipping coffee like nothing had happened. I said her name. "Linda." She looked up slowly and smiled. "Yes?" "You entered my home today." Her smile didn't fade. "Yes, I did." "You broke into my house." She leaned back in her chair. "No, I used my master key." I stared at her. "Your what?" "The HOA master key," she said casually. "We're allowed to access homes in emergencies or compliance checks." "There was no emergency." She shrugged. "Your garage was cluttered, boxes stacked improperly. It's a violation." I felt rage burning behind my eyes. "You do not have the right to enter my house without permission." She stood up. "You signed the HOA agreement, page 37. I knew she was lying, and she knew I knew. She stepped closer. "If you cause trouble, fines will begin immediately." I clenched my fists. "Stay away from my son." Her eyes flicked, just for a second. Then she smiled again. "Your son shouldn't be home alone if you don't want inspections." That was it. I left before I said something that would ruin everything. That night I barely slept. Ethan sat at the kitchen table, quiet. "She walked into my room, Dad," he said. "She looked through my closet." My blood ran cold. "That's illegal." He nodded slowly. "I know." That's when I noticed something different in his expression. Not fear, focus. The next morning, Ethan asked me a question that surprised me. "Dad, do you know if the HOA cameras cover our front door?" I looked at him. "Why?" He pulled out his laptop. "I checked the HOA bylaws. They don't have legal authority to enter occupied homes, even with a key." I felt a mix of pride and worry. "Ethan, don't do anything stupid." He looked up. "I won't." That's when he showed me something that made my jaw drop. Security footage. From our indoor cameras. The ones I forgot were even active. The footage showed Linda unlocking the door, walking in, opening drawers, looking into bedrooms, taking photos. No emergency, no justification. Pure entitlement. Ethan had also done something else. He checked the HOA master key logs. Yes, there were logs. And Linda had accessed 3 other homes that same month. Without notice. Without permission. That night, Ethan said something I will never forget. "She thinks power makes her untouchable." I nodded. She forgot something. He continued. What? Power leaves evidence. 2 weeks later, the HOA held a mandatory community meeting. Linda stood at the front, confident as ever. That's when Ethan raised his hand. She looked annoyed. Yes? He stood up. I have a question about homeowner privacy. She sighed. Keep it brief. He connected his laptop to the projector. The screen lit up. Security footage. Gasps filled the room. Linda's face drained of color as everyone watched her unlock my door. Walk inside. Open my son's bedroom. Someone whispered, Is that legal? Ethan's voice was calm. This is my bedroom. Silence. Then he played the second clip. Another house. Another door. Another unauthorized entry. People stood up. Someone shouted, You went into my house? Linda stammered. This is out of context. Ethan clicked again. A slide showing the HOA bylaws. Highlighted.
Clear.
No authority to enter occupied homes without emergency or written consent. Then he finished. My dad didn't sue. He didn't call the police. He looked straight at her. He wanted the truth. The room erupted. Linda dropped into her chair. Speechless. Linda resigned within 48 hours. The HOA revoked all master keys. Policies changed. Formal apologies were sent. As for us, Ethan got a standing ovation from neighbors who once ignored us. And our house? It felt safe again. But more than that, my son learned something powerful. And so did the entire neighborhood. Power without accountability always collapses.